Welcome, boys. Now, let us start the new chapter, that is motion in a straight line or motion in one dimension. Motion in one dimension, two dimension, and three dimension. Motion is said to be in one dimension if only one coordinate among the three coordinate changes with time. For example, let us write a coordinate, that is x comma 0 comma 0. Now this is a point on the x-axis, y, z components are 0. Now if x is changing, means if only x is changing, then it is called motion in one dimension or motion in a straight line. So for one dimension motion, either x is changing or 0 comma y comma 0, y is changing, or 0 comma 0 comma z is changing. In this coordinate only y changes, in this coordinate only z changes. So either the motion is along x-axis, y-axis or z-axis, meaning to say that only one coordinate is changing, because at every point you cannot draw the axis. But if I am moving in a single straight line, then origin can be drawn at any point, and from there it can be noticed that only one coordinate is changing with time and other is remaining constant or 0. Now this is condition for, that is motion in one dimension. Now if we write motion in two dimension, two dimension means two coordinates are involved, that is two coordinates changes with time and third coordinate remains constant, and this can be seen, that is x comma y comma 0 or x comma 0 comma z or 0 comma y comma z. इसमें z कांस्टेंट, दैट इज मोशन इन एक्स वाई प्लेन. ये किस प्लेन में मोशन है? एक्स वाई प्लेन. ये y कांस्टेंट, अगर y 0 है, y 0 है, तो किस प्लेन में मोशन हुआ? एक्स जेड प्लेन. एंड दिस मोशन इज इन वाई जेड प्लेन. तो जब भी एक मोशन एक लाइन में होता है, देन इट इज कॉल्ड वन डायमेंशन मोशन. एक प्लेन में अगर मोशन हो रहा है, जैसे वी आर राइटिंग इन द प्लेन ऑफ बोर्ड, और अगर कोई पॉइंट यहाँ एक्स है, मान लीजिए ये हमने वाई एक्सिस ले ली, ये एक्स एक्सिस लिया. इफ वी ड्रा ए पॉइंट हियर, then there will be two coordinates involved in that is x and y coordinate, and the third coordinate z will be equal to 0. So this is that is motion in two dimension, that is two coordinates changes and one coordinate remains either constant or 0. Now let us discuss the motion in three dimension. This is one dimension, two dimension, and now we should discuss motion in three dimension. In three dimensional motion, the three coordinates, that is x comma y comma z, continue to change with time. That is three dimensional motion. That is all the coordinates x comma y comma z, they continue to change with time. None of the coordinates is either constant or 0. So if three coordinates changes with time, then the type of motion is called a three-dimensional motion. So, I have explained the dimensions of motion, that is whether it is in one-dimensional motion or it is two-dimensional motion or it is three-dimensional motion. And now let us discuss the type of motion. And here in this chapter, we are only going to deal with a motion in a straight line or motion in one dimension. So, first of all, we should discuss, that is, what is motion. Motion. A body is said to be in the state of motion if it continues to change its position with respect to time and surrounding. Then body is said to be in the state of motion. Means there are two terms, time and surrounding. Now, let us refine these terms. For example, there is a origin, this is point X, body is here, that is A is a body, X is a point, Y is a point, and a body is moving from X to Y. Sorry, body is moving from X to Y. Movement of body from X to Y, and here we have just plotted, that is time, and let us have some variation in X and Y. This is point Y and this is point X. A is body and it is moving from X to Y. Now the position of the body is changing from X to Y in time interval from T1 to T2. From T1 to T2. Now there is a motion in the body because its position is changing with respect to time. Now what do you mean by surrounding? Surrounding, we say that this motion is being calculated or observed from this reference point O. Now if you change this reference point, then there can be a difference in the type of motion. For example, if you change this reference point in a plane which is also moving with the same speed and in same direction, then what will you say? That whether the body is in the state of rest or of uniform motion. Now the analysis of this differs. Why this differs? Because initially this observer which is sitting at O, and it is the reference point, is in the state of rest and this point is moving. Now if you place this observer which is sitting at O in a plane parallel to this plane moving with the same speed in the same direction, then certainly there will be change in its state, that now that will be in the state of rest. और इसका सबसे better example है, you are sitting in the compartment of the train and look at the passenger who is sitting in front of you. Then what happens? It seems that he is in the state of rest, he is just sitting in front of you and you are also in the state of rest. But both of you are in the state of rest with respect to train. And if a passenger who is on the platform and is observing that compartment and he finds that both of them are familiar with him, then he can see that both the persons are moving in definite direction along with the train. Because now the reference point has changed. Now the reference point is on the platform, and person or observer is observing the thing from the platform itself. So in that case, if a person is standing on the platform, then he will see that the passenger sitting in the compartment is in the state of motion with the train. And for the person who is sitting in the compartment, it seems that a person who is standing on the platform is in the state of motion and he is going behind. This analysis is due to change in reference point. That's why we have used the term surrounding. What types of surrounding we are having? So, motion or rest depends on whether the reference point has been taken on the stationary platform or on a moving platform. So, this is the condition for the body to be in the state of motion. So, these are few conditions which can be explained on the basis of reference point. For example, as I am standing here, I am in the state of rest. It is seen when I am not writing anything on the board. This observation is being done from the surrounding near me. But if you change the reference point, that is, you move to a different planet, you see that Earth is rotating about its axis at a definite speed, and Earth is revolving around the Sun with a definite speed. So, in the both the situations, the observers sitting on the different planet can see that you are in the state of motion along with the Earth. But when the observation point lies on the Earth, then you can say that we are in the state of rest with respect to Earth. So, to define rest and motion, it is essential to define the reference point. That where we have taken the reference point, whether it is a stationary plane or it is a moving plane. Now come to second thing, that is rest. Second thing is rest. This is first, this is second. Now, a body is said to be in the state of rest if its position does not change with time and surrounding. For example, I am standing here and I am not moving from this place, then time is also increasing. For example, at this time it is 11:10, and if I used to stand here up to 11:20, then my position is not changing, but the time is increasing. And the second thing, we have taken the reference point in this room only. Now if we change the reference point, that is if we move on different planet, then you can say that I am in the state of motion with respect to that planet. Now we can draw a diagram, simple diagram to understand this. If we plot time on this axis and position on this axis, then if the position of the body at a particular time is x, now this distance is x. Now again, what happens if after time t, that is this is t1 and this is t2, the y coordinate remains x, and coordinate of this point and coordinate of this point are same. Only time is different. Only time is different, but the y coordinate is same. That is x is same. So if it is in the state of rest, that is body is, its position is not changing with respect to time. Position is constant. For example, this is 5 meter. So body is at distance of 5 meter, and with the increase of time, its position is not changing. So this is called the condition of rest. And again, you can change the reference point and analyze that this can be in the state of motion with respect to a certain other reference point which we have taken outside this reference point. Okay. Now, third thing, that is types of motion. There are different types of motion depending upon the change in x, y and z coordinates. But here only we are concerned with the motion in a straight line, and all the different motions we will study in later chapter, that is motion in a plane, that is projectile motion, you will study. Now, third thing which comes in the motion in straight line is distance. You have studied in class 9th that what is distance? It is the total length of the path measured during the motion. It is exactly the total length of the path. Means if a body is here and it is moving to point B via this route, this can be a hill station road. This is not a straight road. This can be a hill station road. So distance is equal to what? Is equal to total length of the path from A to B. Total length of the path from A to B. It means the measurement of total length of the path from A to B is called the distance traveled by the body. And it is a scalar quantity since it does not have the sense of direction. It has only magnitude. Okay. Now second thing, and let us define its unit. The SI unit of distance is meters. SI unit of distance is meters, and some higher or lower units used to measure the distance are kilometers, and lower units decimeters, hectometers. Now the SI system or MKSA system, its unit is meter, and in CGS system its unit is centimeters. You have studied in this thing in class 9th. So the distance is a scalar quantity. It is measured in meters in SI system of units, and it is measured in centimeters in CGS system of units. It is exactly the total length of the path traveled by the body. Now second thing is displacement. Displacement exactly is, now if you say that body is displaced, then there are two questions, that in which direction and by how much. कितना डिस्प्लेस हुए, किस डायरेक्शन में डिस्प्लेस हुए. By how much refers to the magnitude of the displacement, and the direction refers to the nature of this quantity, that is a vector quantity. Now displacement, if we define, it is the shortest length of the path between initial and final points. Now if there is a motion and this is point A body is moving like this, and again this is reaching at point B. Now if we draw a straight line joining the 2 points A and B, then the displacement is equal to shortest distance between A and B. तो शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस ए और बी के बीच में क्या होगी? इट इज ए स्ट्रेट लाइन. It is a straight line of definite magnitude which is equal to displacement of the body, and body is displaced in which direction? From A to B. Direction refers to what? From A to B. So displacement is a vector quantity because it needs the magnitude as well as the sense of direction. So now let us imagine a situation that body starts from A and after moving from this zigzag path again it reaches to A. Then what happens? What is displacement? The initial and final points are same. The shortest distance is what? 0. Because the body is returning back and finally it has reached to its initial point. Then the displacement of the body is 0, but body has travelled some definite distance. So distance travelled by the body is not equal to 0. So we can say that there might be situations when the distance travelled by the body is not equal to 0 and the displacement of the body is equal to 0. For example, मेरी सिचुएशन ले लीजिए. मैं यहाँ खड़ा हूँ, यहाँ से मूव किया, बाहर गया, ठीक है. बाहर से दूसरा डस्टर मैंने लिया, डस्टर लेके वापस आया, इसी जगह पे खड़ा हूँ. I have travelled some finite distance, but my displacement is 0 because initial and final points are same, and the shortest distance between initial and final points is 0. So we can also say that displacement of the body can be equal to 0, but the distance travelled by the body cannot be equal to 0. So these are few basic difference between distance and displacement. Now let us take an example on distance and displacement of the motion of the body on the circular path. Now if a body is moving on a semicircular path, let us say that this is a semicircular path, this is center of the circle, this is radius r, this is point A, this is point O, this is point B, and this is point C. Now if body is moving, if it is moving from A via C to B, A via C to B, then we can write displacement and distance table. Now distance in this case is equal to half of the circumference of the circle, that is pi r, because 2 pi r is circumference of the circle, total length of the circular path, and it is a semicircle. So distance is equal to length of this path ACB is equal to length of the path ACB. Length of the path ACB. Now, what is displacement in this case? Displacement is equal to what? Shortest distance between A and B. Shortest distance between A and B. So what is shortest distance between A and B is equal to what? Length of AOB, which is equal to R plus R is equal to 2R. So in this case, pi r is the distance traveled by the body and 2r is its displacement, and direction of displacement is what? From A to B. Direction of displacement is from A to B. So these are few basic differences between distance and displacement. Now, in the same question, if we change the path of the motion, that is now body is moving from A to B via path AOB, then let us write distance and displacement. Now, in the same figure, if body is moving via AOB, then distance is equal to what? Distance is equal to R plus R is equal to 2R, and displacement is equal to what? R plus R is equal to 2R. In this case, both distance and displacements are same. So we reach to the conclusion that if motion is in a straight line, then distance traveled by the body is equal to displacement of the body. आपने देखा कि ये बॉडी स्ट्रेट लाइन में मूव कर रही है, ए इनिशियल पॉइंट है और बी फाइनल पॉइंट है, इनके बीच की डिस्टेंस क्या है? r प्लस आर 2r, और डिस्प्लेसमेंट के केस में भी इनिशियल पॉइंट ए हुआ, फाइनल पॉइंट बी है, और शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस क्या है? लेंथ ऑफ AOB, which is equal to 2r. So if body is moving in a single straight line, then we can say that displacement of the body is equal to distance traveled by the body. So you have read one question in class 9th that under what condition the displacement is equal to distance traveled by the body, and there you made an answer that when a body moves in a single straight line, then in that case the displacement of the body is equal to distance traveled by the body. Okay, so these are few things about the distance and displacement. Now come to next term. Fourth term, that is the speed. Now speed is defined as what? Distance upon time, and its SI unit is what? SI unit is equal to meter per second, and this speed is also referred in kilometer per hours, centimeter per minute, or in any other unit, but the SI unit is meter per second and CGS system unit is centimeter per second. CGS unit is equal to centimeter per second. So these are two units, and distance, this is distance upon time. Speed is a scalar quantity because distance is a scalar quantity, and a scalar quantity divided by a finite scalar quantity is a scalar itself. Means अगर किसी स्केलर को हम किसी क्वांटिटी से डिवाइड करते हैं तो जो रिजल्टेंट क्वांटिटी होती है दैट इज आल्सो स्केलर क्वांटिटी. एंड if speed is given in kilometer per hour, that is kilometer per hour, and you want to convert this kilometer per hour into meter per second, then in class 9th and 10th you have seen that for converting the speed from kilometer per hour to meter per second, we just multiply by 5 by 18 to the given speed in kilometer per hour to convert that speed in meter per second. Now, from where that term comes, now let us see. Now, 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 1000 meters upon 3600 seconds. Now, two zeros cancels. This is 10 by 36, and if you divide it by 2, this becomes 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. So, if 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second, then for the given speed to convert that in meter per second, we just directly multiply by 5 by 18 term. By using unitary method, suppose we have to convert 100 km per hour, 100 km per hour. So, here it is given 1 km per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. So, 100 km per hour is equal to what? Kilometer per hour is equal to 100 into 5 by 18 meter per second. And if you want to convert a speed from meter per second to kilometer per hour, then you just reverse this factor, that is 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. So, by using these two conversions, you can convert speed from kilometer per hour to meter per second or from meter per second to kilometer per hour. So, this is the basic concept of a speed, that is, it is a scalar quantity, it does not have sense of direction, it has only magnitude, and it is defined as the ratio of distance traveled by the body to the time taken in covering that distance. Okay. Now, let us come to next term, that is, this is 5, this is average speed. Average speed. Now, average speed is defined as the ratio of total distance traveled. Average speed is equal to total distance upon total time. Here exactly it is total distance traveled by the body to the total time taken in traveling that distance. So, average speed is defined as the ratio of total distance to the total time. अब total का मतलब क्या हुआ? Average speed मेरी क्या हुई? जैसे हम कार में मूव करते हैं, लास्ट में ट्रिप जो स्टार्ट किया हमने एक रेफरेंस पॉइंट से और हम 5 आवर्स चलने के बाद हम किसी पॉइंट पर पहुंचे, बीच में हम रुके भी, हमने ब्रेकफास्ट भी किया, लंच भी किया, सब किया. नाउ टू फाइंड द एवरेज स्पीड, वी जस्ट टेक आउट द टोटल डिस्टेंस traveled and total time in traveling the distance. For example, we have to move from Lucknow to Delhi by car. We started our journey at 4 a.m. in the morning and we reached New Delhi at 4 p.m. in the evening. And we stopped at different places for taking lunch, for taking dinner, for taking snacks, and for petrol and other things. So, there was a lapse of time during the motion that we were not moving at that time, we were in the state of rest, but the time was passing. So, total time from 4 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. in the evening is 12 hours. And distance between New Delhi and Lucknow is almost 500 kilometers and this is 12 hours. It is almost 41 kilometer per hour. 41 kilometer per hour is the average speed. You might have traveled at certain places with a speed of 90 km per hour, 110 km per hour and 120 km per hour. But the average speed for whole of the journey is nearly 40.6 km per hour. So this is average speed during whole of the journey. So this was the concept of average speed. Now come to next, that is average instantaneous speed. Our next term is instantaneous speed. 6. Instantaneous speed. Means, as the word indicates, instantaneous means speed at particular instant of time. Speed at particular instant of time, that is at a particular time what was the speed of the body, and that speed is referred as the instantaneous speed of the body. Means किसी एक particular time पर उस body की speed क्या थी, that is called instantaneous speed. Now I am just telling you how to calculate the instantaneous speed, but for that we will need the concept of distance time graph. You have studied the distance time graph in class 9th, and I think you might be knowing about that, but we will also take the section, that is graphical analysis of motion, in this class also. But before that you should check what is instantaneous speed. Now for example, this is distance, this is time, and distance time graph is like this. You know that if the distance time graph is like this, it is the condition of non-uniform motion. It is the condition of non-uniform motion, that is body is not covering equal distances in equal intervals of time. And if it would have been a straight line, then it is the case of uniform motion, that is body is covering equal distances in equal intervals of time. Now if you want to find out, let this time is t1. If you want to find out, that is what was the speed of the body at this particular time, let that point be P on the graph. We draw a tangent at this point. Tangent, you must be knowing tangent. It is a straight line touching the curve at a particular point is called tangent at that point. Now when we have drawn tangent, then make a right angle triangle. Let this triangle is ABC. Now if you see from the graph that what does this BC refers? BC refers to distance on this axis. You can draw here on this axis. BC refers to distance, and this AB refers to time. Now if you find the ratio of BC to AB, or let this angle is theta, and you want to calculate value of tan theta is equal to BC upon AB, which is equal to distance upon time, and it is equal to speed. So slope of this graph gives what? Speed. And since this speed is at particular instant of time, so this speed is called instantaneous speed. So this speed is called instantaneous speed. Now today we have elaborated the term rest, motion, reference point, surrounding, speed, average speed, instantaneous speed, and now In next module, we will be taking the concept of velocity and the equations of motion. Till then, stay tuned. Goodbye.